Hey everyone, Chad Kalaher, Beck's Hybrids Field Agronomist in East Central and Northeast Illinois. Today I want to address a couple recurring questions that have been happening over the past couple weeks regarding corn and post-application. Some of the area, in fact most of the area, about 2 weeks ago experienced dry soil conditions combined with heavy winds that created major windstorms with some wind erosion with soil blowing in areas. And in some places we're seeing some pretty significant effects on the corn, although these will be temporary. Now in my hand I've got a V5 corn plant, 1 collar, 2, 3, 4, and 5 V5 corn plant that we're seeing a little bit of browning of the bottom leaves. This tends to be happening a little bit earlier than we normally would see. As this plant grows, it's going to slough off these lower leaves and lose these leaves naturally. But if we've had some of that sandblasting or dust storms on our corn leaves, we can have some of these lower leaves, these first 2, maybe even these 3 leaves, that will show a lot of significant wind damage effects. On your screen right now is a picture of some plants that were taken from last year, and we had a very significant similar wind event last year. So those plants that you see on your screen, nothing needs to be done to those. So some of the common questions are, 1, why is it happening? Well, that answer is really just from the physical damage of the dust storm hitting the leaves. 2 is, should we be applying a fungicide if there's any potential damage on those leaves that we're seeing, such as browning or maybe even some little bit of leaf diseases such as anthracnose that may be showing up right now. Should we be applying that fungicide with our post-herbicide pass if we've not applied a post-herbicide yet? Should we be applying a nutritional pack? So in terms of hail damage or with wind damage in our case this year, I never recommend a fungicide for remediation of the wind damaged corn, because most of the time it's going to grow through that, slough off the bottom lower leaves that may be browned or damaged from that physical effect of the sandstorm or windstorm that's blown. So the fungicide does not provide protection against bacterial wounds or bacterial infection that's going to set in and have an impact on that plant. If we apply that fungicide, it may help with some stress benefits, okay, help the plant go through a little bit of stress as far as redeveloping some of the leaf tissue as far as growing back out of the hail or wind damage. But really, there's no additional money in your pocket by applying a fungicide at this time for hail damage or wind damage. So it's not something I typically would recommend. The other thing that's being tossed around is maybe applying a micro pack or a nutritional pack with that post-herbicide pass. And I would tell you that if you have already budgeted or planned for that nutritional pack to go in with your post-herbicide pass, go ahead and do that. There's no reason to pull that out. But there's no reason to just include it if you had not planned that, just because you have a wind damaged plant or a hail damaged plant. It's not going to make that plant recover any faster. It may be able to provide the nutrition that it did not have, but it's not going to be able to have that plant recuperate faster because of windstorms, sandblasting, or hail damage. So those are just some questions I wanted to answer regarding windstorms from a couple weeks ago. Really nothing as far as action that we need to take. If you do want to consider a fungicide to help manage a little bit of that stress that the plant's going through to recuperate, I would ask you to consider a very cost-effective generic fungicide, such as a generic form of Quilt Excel, for example, something in that $3 to $5 an acre range that can be easily tank mixed in with a post-herbicide pass. Again, generally not something I recommend as a follow-up for wind damage, sandblasting, or hail, but if it's something that you would feel comfortable with doing and it make you feel a little bit better, then that's something that we would have the possibility of easily doing in a post-herbicide pass. If you have any questions or follow-up, please contact your local Beck's dealer, seed advisor, or myself. Thank you.